The international break is over. The boys are back. Manchester United will play Brentford on Saturday. Are you excited that the boys are back? Despite the fact that Manchester United have been having...
What time was Saturday?
3.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then we are away, yeah? Or Old Trafford? Are we playing home?
Home. Old Trafford.
Okay, it's actually a draw.
First things first. Ten Hag, this is a message for you. Make sure you stop Brentford from scoring within 2 minutes. That's what they've been doing. 5 games now, plus scored within 2 minutes.
Mbemo has been on fire. Somehow it's appearing like they're not missing Ivan Toney. But I know it's one of those things that happen. That's not to discredit the job that the coach there has done and the whole Brentford system. But I think this is third season now, doing the same thing, and every season they keep getting better. So that's not to discredit his job. But I think there will come that time where they would begin to miss, maybe not Ivan Toney, but they will begin to need an extra firepower. As a central forward.
So they signed a striker. They signed a striker, but he's injured.
You can argue that last season they played without Ivan, while he was out suspended. I understand, but there is one thing about the Premier League that I know. The more you progress, or the better a team you become, the stiffer your challenges. Your opponents make it tougher for you and all that. So they have positioned themselves to be that very formidable team, that sits, just somewhere above the mid-table, somewhere between 8 and 10. And they would on any day give any opposition a very, very, very stiff challenge. So I think going forward, they may, and with this other guy injured, was the guy, the black guy, that scores some kind of crazy goals. Wissa. So with Wissa out injured, I think he's going to be out for a very long while. I think about 4 months, if not the end of the season, until the end of the season. So I think it's, when we get to say midway into the season, I'm sure they would begin to need an extra firepower. But let's see.
This guy is injured. It was reported today that this guy will be out for a while. Will be Mino. What else say about that? You've always said that Mino needs rest.
But I'm not surprised. Yeah, I've always said it. I'm not surprised, really. I think, for a 19-year-old and following the demands of the game today,
Really need to hear now that Wissa could return for Manchester United clash.
Oh, that makes it even a stiffer game for us. But the thing is, for Kobe's injury for me is not coming as a surprise. He has played, I think, well over 60 games. He had played I know the last time I checked, he had played about 45 games or thereabout. And so I think right now he has played well over 60 games in less than 2 calendar years. So it's, for a 19-year-old, and then with the intensity of the Premier League, and then going out Euros, the pressure and all that, you could, he didn't even really have a holiday, if you ask me. I think he had just about 2 weeks after the Euros, to 3 weeks after the Euros, and then bang, he was again, starting, the first game of the season. It's too much. Yeah, you could say, sports sciences have advanced and all that. They should have been able to manage him and all that. But fans, it's the same fans. If Kobe's on the bench, they are crying out, Kobe should start. If Kobe's not starting, it's you get that kind of a thing. But
you rest. You need rest.
Yeah, rest. And then when you rest Kobe, they tell you, why are you benching him? Why are you benching him and all that?
The guy gives a rating of 7/10. He gives you 7.5.
Kobe's injury for me is not coming off as a surprise. I think the young lad really needs that time away from the game. He really needs to rest up, and he needs to, come back to the game fresh again. And I think he has been going through maybe what I would love to, I'll tell a mental block. If you ask me, his game hasn't been crisp in the last couple of games. Maybe you could say because the entire team is struggling, but I think he has been maybe trying to overdo things, now making him,
When Kobe first arrived, when Kobe first
plunging
arrived,
to tackle sometimes when he loses the ball and all that. So I just think that just maybe this period, this break away from football, from competitive football, and just staying to recover and then, resting up and then working his way back from injury into fitness. I just think maybe the next couple of weeks, that he will have off would be something of a huge positive for him, because sometimes we need that kind of a break also to help us, because I think this period he'll be watching a lot of films. I'm talking football films now, like, more of spending time with the coaches, doing a lot of analysis and all that. And so I think he's going to be now watching football now as a fan also. So, there's one thing about watching football as a fan. It's you really, really see the game in a different dynamics, like more than they whom are actually on the pitch. So I just hope that coming back.
Do you feel this game is a must-win game for Ten Hag?
Oh yeah, obviously it's a must-win game. I think the next couple games, I think the next run of 4 games are all must-win games for him, inclusive of the game against Jose Mourinho. Am I right? He will have a game against Jose Mourinho's side. Yeah, I think it's a must-win. Yeah, is all of them are must-win games for but that against Jose Mourinho, not just because we're up against Jose Mourinho, we're going to Turkey again, a very hostile environment for any club, particularly English sides. When we go to Turkey, it's always very, very hostile. We know what we're expecting in terms of reception. The whole firecrackers everywhere. They're going to make the nights unbearable for the Manchester United players. They're going to be making noises and lighting up crackers everywhere around their hotels. They're just going to be a nuisance, and then with the team now struggling in confidence.
The interesting part is that we're playing against Amrabat and Fred.
Yeah, so a pivot of Amrabat and Fred. I know Mourinho, he could start both of them.
Yeah.
He could just he could give them some kind of pep talks that those guys will just go in and demolish us on that day.
Exactly.
So
make United fans start feeling bad again and start regretting why they sold Fred.
Yeah, so I'm not really expecting so much against Galatasaray away.
No, Fenerbahce, not Galatasaray.
Sorry, Fenerbahce away. I think if we come back home with a draw, it's fair.
Given the
current state of the team.
Now, what do you feel Ten Hag should do different against Brentford?
I think nothing different from what I said the last couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks ago now. I said I would expect Eric to, find a way to, see how he can positively change the atmosphere in the group. It's not a question of skill. It's not a question of talent, like we have kept on, hammering. It's beyond that. These players are well talented. We know what these players all can do on paper, while they were coming off academies or while they were at different clubs before they were, their services were, employed or rather by Manchester United. So, I don't think it's about quality. I just hope that Eric is going to look for a way to, together with his crew, up the atmosphere, the feel good thing, the aura within the team should just be, a bit not. Like there should be more smile, more freedom for players to execute. I think less of tactical talks this time around and allowing these players just express, just tell these guys, look, today this is Brentford, we're going to win Brentford, just you guys go, just make sure we keep our shapes. But look, I tell you guys, when we lose this, but let's come back. Just less tactics, more of confidence, more of the right talks, less of really, really training. It's not really about training this time around. I think right now it's more of it's more of winning the war psychologically than it is winning the war tactically or physically. That's for me. If I'm Eric, together with my my coaches, this is the direction I will be heading right now, because like most of us have always said, if you really, really are close to the club and you get to see certain things that are ongoing, you will agree with me that the occurrences in the most recent years are beyond the coaches and also beyond the players. You get me? So look at the revelation, Pogba's interview making the round the last couple of days. You see how, certain things he says when you sit down and you put a thought to some of his, proclamations. It just gives you an even clearer picture as to what has been going on. Imagine a player who is telling you that after Mourinho and Ole came, he had an exciting first season with Ole, and then he wanted to leave. And so probably Ole kept him, he clearly said he was, kept Manchester United, whatever, blocked the move and all that. So these are the things that, what's the reason? Why are these players always, you saw, for me, if you read between the lines, you could see that it was a question of culture, it's a question of discipline, it was a question of standards that had fallen in the club, as Cristiano Ronaldo rightly said, while he came back, to Manchester United. So if you put thoughts to the words of Cristiano Ronaldo, the words of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then the words of most recently
Benny McCarthy.
The Benny McCarthy, and then listening to Paul Pogba, and then folks like Andy Meeting and them likes who have some insider accesses, and that. I'm not talking about fanboys like Rio Ferdinand and the likes. I'm talking of guys who are really, really giving us proper insight as to what's really going on in the club. So when you put thoughts to this interviews that these guys, allowed to be aired, it just gives you a clearer picture to say these things are not just about the coaches, neither are they just about it's about the culture and the team. And so that's why for me, I'm a big fan of, like, I've already said it. If I were the Ineos group, if you have worked in Manchester United anything 10 years and above, you're going. You are going. I'm going to sack you. You are going. It's time they stamp their foot, their authority, their principles, and begin to see how they can set up their own structures, set up their own, ideas, their culture. It has to be proper, because the truth is, there are some persons who are benefiting from the decay in Manchester United. And until you do this thorough rinse, you wouldn't exactly get to the bottom of it. There are those of them whom are snakes and snitches, whom are benefiting from the rot ongoing in Manchester United, whom are selling out information to the media, whom are leaking out team tactics, and a lot of things that have been going on in Old Trafford, in Carrington, that have been making the news most recently, and then it begins to give you an insight as to probably why the Ineos, team are deciding to go. Look, a lot of persons have been saying, Fergie, I understand, legendary Fergie and all that. Fergie is earning more than Kobe Mino and more than some of these players. Like, why? Why is he earning all that money? For what? What does he really do for the club? He gave us...
the club ambassador.
He's a club ambassador. Yeah, I understand that. But, he shouldn't be earning that money. He doesn't need that money. He doesn't need that money. A club ambassador, you gave us David Moyes. What kind of ambassador are you? A club ambassador, and you be recommending certain kind of things for us? But no, that's not it. For me, I'm a huge fan of what's ongoing, and I really want to see. I love the fact that, like I said, now Fergie is been taken off the payroll, and part of the news making round is that he's also been asked not to come to the first team dressing room, because sometimes they walk first, they go to Carrington, they go to speak to these players and all that. Like I was telling you off camera, just imagine you're a player, Erik ten Hag is telling you something, and maybe after that training session or before the match or something, Fergie walks into and is giving you a pep talk. Bro, just weigh it, put it on a scale. You can't even balance. But I will go with what Fergie is telling me, regardless of what. So, these are the things that I am a big fan of. It's right for me, as per my thought, though, that the Ineos group goes this direction and detach this club from every shackles, really, that has been holding back this club. And that's the only direction to go. And it is only when this is effectively done that we can begin to now say, we now have a very clean slate to begin to sketch on, and then see what the sketches are seeming like, and begin to then build or, progress on the sketches and turning them into proper drawings. That's really what I'm saying. So I'm happy that...
Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy that... I'm happy that the longest serving club kit guy is gone. I'm happy that the head of the media, whatever, is gone. But for me, it's not over yet. I really need, if you've been in Old Trafford and Carrington 10 years and above, you have to, I'm very sorry, you have to lose your job. You have to go elsewhere, go and apply for jobs in Chelsea and Man City, go and transform them, go to Arsenal, go to Luton Town, go to wherever, Tottenham, go and just apply your trade elsewhere, but away from here, and then do a proper recruitment of proper professionals and give them a portfolio. First of all, place them on certain level of provisional conditions, or conditional terms of services and all that, and give them what are they called, like KPIs. So you meet these very KPIs within this window. There are minimum thresholds and all that stuff. So like these things are achievable. So I don't know why fans are grumbling, because like we can't keep going around the same peg and expecting anything different. So for me, man, I'm a big fan of what's going on here. And this is also clearly the Ineos saying we are sticking with Eric. We are going to do everything possible for Eric to. That's
why we're saying that Eric needs to win this game this weekend.
Yeah. Because they're doing everything possible to ensure that Eric enjoys the best of atmospheres or the best of working environment for him and his team to effectively function. And so I think it is time that Eric repays this degree of confidence, regardless of what the media is making us want to believe, where the media is saying, oh, Eric wasn't their first choice, blah, blah, blah. I care less. Right now, Eric has got a job. The media's next favorite man is no longer available. He has taken the English job 2 days ago. So at least we can reduce on the whole Tuchel news. The whole whatever can go down a bit. Maybe they will continue with this guy has started advertising himself, the Brighton Chelsea flop.
Graham Potter. Okay, let's before we round up, let's talk about the game. Do you have any prediction?
Oh yeah, against Brighton, against Brentford. I'll be honest. I see probably a very tight game. Brentford obviously are going to come tough. A 2-2 full-time draw.
2-2 draw. Wow, to score
for Manchester United, I think I see a Bruno Rashford goal. But even if they don't score, but I see a huge impact from Bruno Rashford. I see something good from Bruno Rashford. I know obviously the starting pivot is going to be Kase and Ogate, and that's what I want to believe.
I think Ogate is injured.
Also, it's going to be Kase Eriksen, Bruno. Oh, that's crazy, man. That's no legs there.
Let's see how it goes. I'll see you after the game. I'll see you after the game for the fan reaction.
Unpopular opinion, I'm still saying this thing. Go to a flat 4-4-2, or you play the 4-3-3, and you can have those 4-3-3s. You can have Anthony playing the midfield 3 on the right side. I said these things, right? These players are not bad.
The one's making them look bad.
Look, Anthony. Oh man, guy. Anthony is a good football player. He may not be world class, but Anthony is a comfortable 7.5/10 player every day. In a midfield 3 or in a flat 4-4-2, either Anthony starting or coming off a bench, Anthony is a plus for any side because he's coming with strength, he's coming with pace, and if you notice this season so far, he's been trying to be very direct. And that's obviously because of the threats that Ahmad has posed. Ahmad has clearly stated, shown the world that look, I'm here to demolish. So
we have like 2 minutes to go. Don't worry. We'll talk after the game.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, bless.
All right.